What's up, everybody? What's up? It's your girl, Kiki Simone. Oh, wow. And that was the wonderful and delightful.
Your boy Dietrich.
I love that song.
I'm trying to tell you.
I love that song. Yes. This is your girl, Kiki Simone. And I got my boy B Wonder in the building with me.
Hey, what's going on? What's the sauce?
What's the sauce? What's the sauce?
You know, I feel like I'm Lavoisier. Gonna talk for a bit.
Oh, that's how he talks?
Yeah, a little bit, because he's from New York.
Right. And now he's in Texas.
Yes.
I wonder... No, his accent hasn't really changed because he was on an episode a few episodes back. So
shout out to Lavoisier.
What's up, Lavoisier?
The homie.
I like that name.
Grow the heck up. I do too.
Well, I like Lavoisier.
It's different.
I like grow the heck up too, but I'm just saying I like the name Lavoisier.
I've never heard nobody named Lavoisier.
I hadn't either. I know somebody named Cartier, and I came to find out that was jewelry.
Oh.
Yeah. But anywho, welcome to the Life Out Loud with Kiki Simone and my boy B Wonder. We are so thankful that you took the opportunity, took the time, some of your precious time to listen to the podcast.
Yes.
We are thankful for you. Thank you for listening every single week, every single Thursday. Mm-hmm. We are always bringing that wonderful and delightful, the raw, uncut, transparent, I would say, information to you. I really think that we get a little bit vulnerable and we just kind of let it all out just for people to understand that we haven't arrived, but we like to talk about stuff that people don't like to talk about. So that's what we do here on Life Out Loud with Kiki Simone and friends.
Facts.
B Wonder.
Right here.
Right here.
Ones and twos.
On the ones and twos.
You know.
We got ones and twos.
We got 1s, 2s, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I can't with him today.
3
I can't.
To the 4.
Do we have anybody else in the building with us today? I don't know if anybody else is here.
No.
No.
Boy, but you never know who's gonna pop up.
Oh gosh. Oh goodness. Hello, Barack.
How are you doing,
President Barack Obama?
I'm not president anymore. You can call me Barack.
Okay.
Michelle, come on and join the cast.
Wow, I would love to meet her. I would love
really
to.
dope.
Yeah, that would be really dope. She's someone that I really would like to meet because I'm pretty sure she went through a whole lot for those 8 years. Yeah. Or really, if you just add like 9, just because you're running. Mm-hmm. So before you even get into it,
politics can be stressful.
I'm sure, and not nothing I want to get into. But I would definitely say that here on the Life Out Loud podcast, we enjoy having fun. We enjoy, just kind of talking about stuff that, people typically don't talk about.
Right.
And honestly, we don't really talk about a lot of this stuff before the show. We just make sure that we have, our content and stuff ready. Right. But as far as like having a lot of discussion around it, what you guys are hearing is we're hearing it for the first time because we're talking about it.
Facts.
So we do appreciate you guys for taking your time again to listen to us. And here on a Life Out Loud podcast, we have what we call the pink elephant. And that's what we talk about. Oh, goodness. He's trying to make the sound. It's not quite time for the sound yet. It's not coming yet, brother.
Okay, well, you said that elephant, I just stay on top of my game, eh?
It's not coming yet, sir.
It's not coming?
Not yet, sir.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. But we have the pink elephant where we talk about real issues, real perspective, real solutions. And we definitely want to make sure that people get something out of it, that you're not just listening just to listen, but you're listening because you really want to find out, okay, what about this topic can help me in my everyday life?
Yes. And with that being said, Key, I have a question.
You do? What's your question?
I get 21 questions.
21 questions. Okay, I don't know if we have time for 21 questions, but definitely go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, so my question is, What are you conscious about?
What am I conscious about?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I am conscious about my lisp. And I'm very intentional so that you guys can't hear it, because I was teased about it when I was younger. And so I made it a point. I made every intent to make sure that I was able to speak properly without that lisp. It's sometimes difficult to say certain letters together.
Yes.
And, you know, like your THs, and then if you have an S in front of the TH and you say a whole bunch of words, it'll be like a st sound, STs, all those start coming together. And if I start talking and getting excited, at some point, like, I believe that my lisp comes out. And so I do my very best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Listen, I would say I would never know that if you hadn't told me.
See, I'm being transparent here. I'm just talking. I'm being intentional in everything that I do so that people can't hear it. Like, I do that for everything. What about you?
Me, couple things.
Oh, you got a couple. Okay.
Maybe a couple. No. Very conscious of my weight here.
Okay. Okay.
Hear me say that quite a bit, so I gotta do something. I gotta change that.
We both gotta do something
because my
it.
love handles just want to keep loving, and I ain't with it.
Okay. So if you're very conscious about that, what else are you conscious about?
My, like, on my lip, you wouldn't know unless I smile like real big or weird, like real awkward. But it's pink. It's really pink there.
Your lip is pink?
Yes.
But it's a lot of people with pink lips. It's a lot of people with pink lips. I mean, what's wrong with that?
But it looks more weird to me. Like, I guess it looks awkward to me.
Is it because of your complexion?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so.
Okay.
And it just I guess it really makes it pop out more.
Okay,
so it's
gotcha.
like when I smile, it's like, I kind of curl my lip up and it's like,
no, I had no idea.
You will never know unless I tell you.
Oh my goodness.
So it's just like, I know how to hide it.
See? And see how I'm intentional about my lisp. So it's like, I probably won't notice it ever again, just because, I notice your teeth when you smile.
Jeez.
Yeah, you have a nice smile.
White. We got to keep them white.
Right.
I have had many people say, that's your ministry. I was like, yes. Because listen here. I don't need that ministry ever to stop.
I feel you on that. So it sounds like we both have, like, things that we're self-conscious about that we, want to be more mindful of. And so as we do that, doesn't take away from how God has made us. We just gotta, do the best we gotta do with what we have.
Facts.
Definitely. So, but we both do got to work on the weight thing. We both got to work on that.
I'm doing that because, like, each night I do like sets of push-ups, sit-ups, and just like different workout routines.
Okay, that's what's up.
And then I try my hardest, depending on if the weather cooperates with me. Like around my complex where I stay at, I walk around a lot, so it's a nice complex to where you got to at least walk around twice to get 1 mile.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's just like the more you work, the more it comes off. So
that's what I was doing too.
Yeah, so I try my hardest to continue to have that like each day, and then of course before I go to bed, do my little workout routine, and then call it a day. One thing I do desire to do, I haven't done it because it's like crazy hectic schedule. But one of my things is I want to get up 4:00 in the morning. Start out with a workout. Of course, before I get to my workout, have my alone time with God. But have my alone time with God, because He's the first thing in the morning. Got to. That is a necessity. That is a must. And then do my workout, come back, and then get ready for work and get my day started.
Okay.
That's what I want to kind of get into a routine of that, but it is so hard with my crazy schedule. So it's just like, that would defeat the purpose if you're going to bed at 12.
You know what helps with that? And we were kind of talking offline about this in particular, but what helps out with that is, you know, what we eat. That makes a difference as to us having the energy that we need. And I noticed, like, when I was not eating any carbs, and I already don't eat meat, but when I wasn't eating any carbs, I literally had way more energy. And I was walking when I would get up in the mornings to walk. It was just like natural, and I wasn't tired, I wasn't fatigued or anything. I was just getting up earlier. And if anyone who knows me, they know that I love to sleep. And for me to have to get up at 6:50 in the morning and, you know, get up to walk by 7, that was a lot, you know. And I found myself, even when I would go walking, my routine that I walk is, I think, a little bit over, it might be about 1.5 miles in the mornings. I used to walk, and it would take me, like, first time it took me an hour. The next time it took me 45 minutes. The next time it took me 30 minutes. It was getting faster and faster, and I hadn't even noticed it. Yeah. Until I was like, oh, is this the real time? Is my watch working?
It really does. And I'm trying to get back to my 6 mile period. So I started just doing 3 miles just to get in the routine of it and just keep going and keep pushing and keep striving. And then another thing, what I've noticed also, like, when you get in this sluggish space, and after you walk, and when you start walking, start to generate and just allow blood flow to move like it's supposed to, you notice that there is a difference when you finish.
Yes, there is.
I was just like, this feels good.
And it's like, once you work out, you don't want to eat bad because you feel like you just would have defeated the purpose of even walking. Because I walk and jog. So,
and honestly, sometimes most of the time it is what you eat. Like, I'm not saying not to watch what you eat, but a lot of times I was eating what I want, and I lost weight like that because of my consistency of working out and burning the fat. So
I've been trying to take all kind of stuff.
Well, it does need to gravitate to something to lose. So, but like, I want to say 2014 Flavor Fest. Yes, 2014 or 2013 or 12. One of the two.
Or one of the three.
Or one of the three, you know. This when I met Lisa McClendon. And that picture I showed you when I took a picture with her, I was at 187 then.
Okay.
From 215.
Wow.
I did a previous year of comparison to where I was and then to where I was then. I was just like, this is two totally different people.
Yep, I feel you.
I looked like, bruh, what?
We're not going to talk about my before.
I was like,
my before pictures.
What are you going through?
We're not going to talk about my before pictures. I just got to get better.
But, you know, a lot of times we don't realize that we emotionally eat. And, like, that was one of the things that I really didn't recognize about myself. It was comfort food. So, when I seen myself, I was that big. And, like, I've never gotten that big ever. I've always been a husky
like a solid person,
but not fat, but just like kind of.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're a little too much for your height. A little too much.
Hey, I feel you on that. A little too much for your height.
And it was just like, man, okay, well, it's not going to change itself.
This is true. That's what we got to get in our head. It's not going to change itself. It's not going to magically disappear. So we've got to make sure that we stay on it. And we are going to do that, brother. You make sure that you do your part. Yes. And we'll have to, you know, have some type of check-in or something.
This is accountability now.
Right. Because we're putting it out there, y'all. We're putting it out there.
I know for a fact the last time I weighed myself, I was at 230.
Okay.
And then maybe 2-3 weeks or so after that, I lost 8 pounds. So,
congratulations.
But I need to see where I'm at now.
Okay.
Because I haven't weighed since then.
Okay, well, that's what's up. You're going to have to go ahead and check and see. And we're going to have to keep each other accountable.
Definitely.
Yes, keep each other accountable.
Definitely. Which leads to...
Yes, our pink elephant.
Yes, because I hear a rumbling in the jungle.
Do you hear it?
I hear a room.
Oh, it's coming.
Hey, I'm talking. Don't interrupt me. That's rude.
The pink elephant
The
said,
pink elephant.
okay.
It's like, I ain't stunned you. I can slap you across the whole entire globe with my trunk. Try me.
Wow. Please don't try him.
Try me.
Oh,
try.
I still haven't listened to it. I just saw the lyrics on the screen. I refuse to listen to it.
I was gonna sing the other song, but I think other people be too offended with the other song.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah. But a lot of these things that we did not realize what was going on until we like did a comparison, like an evaluation, right? So we realized there were some things that have been uncovered that we didn't realize, and there's a two-sided coin to that.
Oh, so are you saying our pink elephant is what?
Uncovered.
That sounds pretty interesting.
And I want to give a sneak peek because I know you have another perspective of that, which I love because that is really grand, because I don't like being one-dimensional, and I don't just like looking at things from just one point of view.
Gotcha.
So sometimes we think we have a tight ship ran, and in the midst of running a tight ship, things can still slip through the cracks, and you won't know how scattered you are until the things that you thought you had under control become uncovered.
Sounds really good to me.
Yes.
And that sounds a lot like what happens to many of us. And I would say I would fall into that category.
And I've definitely fallen into that category.
Yeah, I definitely fall into that category because it's a lot of things that you learn as you are going through life, and you're uncovering layers about yourself, about things that you've learned that you didn't realize you learned, and vice versa.
And subconsciously allowing those things that was there to just lie dormant. And it's not until you come in contact with someone who can see what you can't see.
That's true.
So like it's like a plant in a pot. Like where I work at, it deals with a lot of agriculture work, and so we used to have trees outside on the outside block, and we had towels on top of it, and they were in this type of pot that it doesn't grow any further or bulky or wider outside of the range and the parameter that is given. So
that's
the towel is there. Yeah, the towel is there to protect it from being rooted with the roots from that's within the ground.
Okay.
So I thought this was really dope how God always used my job to see, to have a different perspective when it comes to life. It's like really parallel.
Okay.
And so
you're saying your job is like parallel to the things of life.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
It's like a plant in a pot that is placed on a piece of towel, the foundation of God that you water, that you allow the sunlight to hit just right. You give it some tender love and care. On the bottom side of that towel is a parameter, a support system that helps what is in a controlled space the plant that is in, which is the pot. It prevents what is in the ground to take root what's in the pot. And if we remove the towel and neglect the space that was once controlled, that was once kept, then the weeds will start to grow wild, roots will start to grow and take place, and that what was once living and was structured becomes wild, out of control, and dies.
That was deep. That was deep.
Because it's like if we don't tend to what we need to tend to when it comes to caring for these plants and not allowing these to take root, because you got certain experiments that you're doing with them, certain I won't say experiments, but more so data that you're trying to collect, and you're trying to do a comparison. And within the job, it's like there's a lot of pruning that I do within the greenhouses that I do within outside of the field of the block. So and I was just writing that just like in my alone time when in the greenhouse, and I was just like, dog, this is some good stuff here, God. And it's true. What we don't have discipline on, and what we talked about the other episode, self-control on,
right?
What we don't grab by the horns and really take it to the ground, it will literally make us go out of control. We will start to sow wild oats. We will be going crazy. We'll do what we want, when we want, how we want, and we can care less if we're covered or not.
Wow. So what you're saying is basically that, just kind of from the description that you were talking about just a moment ago, is that when something had the tile over it, that meant that the weeds could not come up. The weeds couldn't grow up because it was roots controlled based off of the boundaries or that tile that was set in place.
Yes.
And the right things were growing where they were supposed to. But when you took that tile off, it just went haywire.
And then there's a chemical called huncho, which is a weed killer. So that also gets what's trying to grow around the tile and tries to get close to as well.
Wow.
And you use that to kill it, to keep it controlled, to keep it, dead, because like the weeds grow like crazy. So imagine what's going on in your life and everything that is around you are like weeds, and you're spiritually dying.
That's good right there. What would you think would be the weed killer?
Oh man, what do you love the most that causes the most damage?
Well, if it's killing the weed, that's a good thing, right? Okay, so the things that we love the most would be the weeds. Is that what I'm understanding? So, okay, ask what you just asked again. I forgot what I asked. I said, what is the weed killer? Okay. What would be the weed killer?
Okay, so the weed killer is the huncho, so which is what kills the weed. So I misunderstood your question. Okay. So because I was thinking you was talking about from an aspect of life of what is damaging us, what is the weeds that is killing us. But
I think I sort of kind of was asking what could be the weed killer for the things that are killing us. Okay, so the weed killer could also be the word of God. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Through prayer. Okay. Definitely confessing and just being real with friends, that's really healthy. Okay. Being able to have someone you can talk to that's in your corner, that's going to do right by you, that you trust. Okay. That is not going to leave outside of what you two discuss or whoever. Right. Also, just having a healthy perspective of understanding of knowing where you are and being real with where you are, and understanding that it's okay to be where you are, but it's not okay to stay there. Right. Like continue to work, putting your best foot forward. So those can be the weed killers. Those can be the control in the sense that can help diminish anything that is trying to damage you spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. And also I would say, who are you inspired by? Like, I like listening to different people. One of my favorites is Pastor Mike Todd. Like, he's just one of my favorites to listen to. He's like, I can relate to him. I can relate to Pastor John Gray. I can relate to Ken Jones. I can relate to Brinson. I can relate to D-Mob. Like, people who I see at Thistle, like, that are very inspiring and seeing what they do on a day-to-day and encouraging people at the same time. Those type of things can be a weed killer. Okay. In your life. And it's, I'm not going to say it's funny that you mentioned Pastor Michael Todd, but I will definitely say I'm reminded of a sermon that he was talking about called Raise the Rim. And he was basically talking about the standard. And as we related to what it is that you're talking about as far as the weeds, when you have that tile over it so that weeds can't grow, and you have that honcho, I think that's what you call it. And the roots, because you don't want that to uproot either. Right. So I'm thinking of those are your standards. Those are your boundaries. Those are the things that prevent the weeds from growing. And I'm reminded of his message called Raise the Rim, because he was talking about a lot of people are playing the game of life not on the right standard and don't have the right boundaries. That's good. And so that's what kind of came to mind when you were just saying that, and when I'm thinking about, standard and boundaries and things of that nature. So my mind just be kind of going different places and stuff. So yeah.
Me too, girl. But it's real. It's a reality. And then it's almost like on the other side, because I definitely want to hear your perspective and view on the opposite side of the coin of that. But it can also, being uncovered can also spark up a lot of insecurities.
Okay.
It can also get you in a place of being afraid to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And it just depends on what the situation is and what's going on.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree.
Uncovered can be healthy too. It can also free you. Mm-hmm. Like free the things that you feel like is weighing you down that you wanted to be free from for so long. Mm-hmm. Uncovered is really not a bad thing.
Okay, so I guess it just depends on the perspective that you're looking at it from. Mm-hmm. And so just continuing on with what it is that you're talking about, because I know that, we've got a few more minutes before we get into the artist spotlight. Mm-hmm. But I just kind of want to hear your take in regards to when it comes to being uncovered. Mm-hmm. When I think of the word uncover, I think of a revealing of, or a you could be surprised.
It could be revealing.
Yeah,
it could be exposed.
Yeah, you could be surprised of what is actually there that you may or may not have known about.
Exactly.
And so when that happens, it's kind of like, oh my goodness, I just really want to, I don't know if I really want to know anymore based off of what I find out. I really don't know if I can take anymore.
I've had those moments.
So especially when God starts revealing stuff to you and you're just like, okay, God, I know I asked you, God, about, about this right here, about God, make me over. Mm-hmm. God, do this, or I want this. And then God starts showing you yourself when we ask him to do that. And then all of a sudden, when he shows us just a piece, just like one part, you just like, okay, God, that's it.
You ain't got to do no more.
That's it.
I don't too much.
I don't really want to know anything else. I'm pretty good on really let me figure this part out first, God. Okay, you don't have to say nothing else
at all
until I get this part done. And that's how I feel every week. Lord. That's how I feel every single week when I as I'm listening to church, Deeper Fellowship, shout out Pastor William McDowell. Woo woo.
Withholding nothing.
I really feel that way whenever I'm listening to the word. Whenever one of the pastors bring the word, I feel like God is just giving me more and saying, okay, well, nope, you're not good in this area. Okay, you need to work on this one. Okay, yeah. Every week it seems like something else is like not right, and I'm like, okay, God,
but you know what?
I gotta get these things. Like, can you hold off for just a minute?
It keeps you humble. It keeps you anchored.
It does. And I think that it could keep you wanting more. It could keep you wanting to know more about what it is that God really sees versus, we think we good and God is like, as he start revealing stuff, you like, well, dang, I thought I was good.
You see that in the corner of your heart? Yeah, we got to work on that.
The heart is the most deceitful of all things. People don't really realize that, though. They just be like, oh, God knows my heart. And that's true. And that's not a statement that you just really want to be like, oh, God knows my heart. Because the truth is, he really does. He knows the bad stuff, too. People think of God knows my heart as far as like intentions. But, and my pastor talked about that, too. Yeah. But it's kind of like if he knows your heart, he knows the good and the bad. And sometimes we don't like to, really talk about the bad. We like to talk about our good intentions. And
only God can judge me. Yeah, God is going to judge you. over everything.
At the end of the day, that's a whole nother thing.
Oh yeah,
that might be a topic maybe one day we could talk about, is about judgment and what people think is judgment versus observation and just like certain things. It's just like ain't nobody judging if this is the fruit that you bring out of it, then this is the fruit that comes out of your actions. That's not a judgment.
So is it good or is it rotten?
That's true. So I'm not gonna go on that tangent, y'all. I'm not gonna go on that tangent.
We're making a U-turn.
Yes, we are gonna make a slight we're gonna go the other way. But before we go the other way, I really think is did you have anything else in regards to from your perspective of of being uncovered from the side of God doing, or you being protected by stuff? And did you have anything else to add before we go to the artist spotlight?
Sure. I think being uncovered is also saving you from you.
That's good, because
the things that we know we're afraid to take to God, and then there's things that we subconsciously do that we aren't aware of, that once exposed we're afraid to take to God.
That's true too, and He already sees it and knows it and just waiting on us
before you know it.
Exactly. He knew you was gonna do it already.
He knew this person was gonna kind of get those feelings and those situations up in your belly.
Yes, he knew all of this.
You was gonna feel some kind of way, because like I said, we're mirrors to each other, so we're not gonna really know what's in us until we come in contact with someone that brings something that may trigger on the inside of us that was dormant.
And that is a great place for us to get ready to get into this artist spotlight. And this week we have Monolog featuring T Strike, and the song is called Transparency.
Okay.
I really love this song. Like literally every time I hear this song, I get chills. Like as we were trying to figure out what songs we were gonna play, and then we play this song, it's like literally this song is the epitome of what it is that we're really talking about today. So let's go ahead and get into some of that Monolog featuring T Strike called Transparency.
I can front and I can lie, but I know everything that goes on. Okay. But they don't. And the funny thing is, I can front and I can lie in the sight of human eyes that can only see the surface. But I know everything that goes on. What I do when I'm alone, all the choices that are wrong. But they don't. And the funny thing is, I can hide behind them lies while I'm thinking I'm disguised. But you can see right through me. I ain't got nothing to hide. It's nothing deep down inside that you don't know about me. Now that's what I call transparency.
Sometimes these smiles I fake, just like my perfection is. At times I duck the mirror, hide who my reflection is. Half the time I walk around my head down, I'm ashamed of me being everything I hate instead of who I'm made to be. I hate me sometimes, ask why did you make me sometimes. Cause when I go to do right, try to fight a good fight, this life it takes me sometimes. Oh yeah, I hide from them, but yet I know you see the inner parts of me. My failure, slip ups, my wrong and hiccups, I know you see through the heart of me. I try but fail, then fail to try, confess it all or live a lie. Tired of worry about what the folks on the ground think when I'm trying to reach the sky. So I'm asking God of David, God of Moses and Abraham, the King of Glory, the Alpha, Omega, the Lord of hosts and the great I am. Please forgive me for all my wrong and all my bad decisions when I'm on my own. But I can't play the game no more to the same old lies, so they won't criticize my songs. Man, I'm flawed, my G, a battle taking place daily inside of me. Been real with God and I'm real with y'all, and that's what I call transparency.
I can front and I can lie in the sight of human eyes that can only see the surface. But I know everything that goes on. What I do when I'm alone, all the choices that are wrong. But they don't. And the
things I'm ashamed of, and dabbled in some sins that most Christians ain't never heard of, and looking up to heaven like God, bro, I don't deserve love. Stay pushing in the spirit, but my flesh, it got the best of. Mad at Adam, mad at Eve, and his dirty body passed down to me. I know that Paul said that he had a thorn in the flesh, but it don't seem to comfort me. I ain't flawless, but I swore I woke up like this. Me and Satan broke up like this, but yet and still when I'm doing good, he come offering the bad stuff I miss. Oh yeah, I fall sometimes, hide it from y'all sometimes. I grab my Jesus piece and wear it as my own disguise. But yet I know my God can see through all the hidden things. Got rid of most, but some remain. My life is long division, man. I promise that I'm tired of this. Want freedom, but I'm tired to this. Seems the more I seek them, Eureka, I just can't hide from this. All these mirrors can't be dirty, so that filth I see is me. Real with God, not real with y'all, and that's what I call transparency.
I can front and I can lie in the sight of human eyes that can only see the surface, but I know everything that goes on, what I do when I'm alone, all the choices that are wrong, but they don't. And the funny thing is, I can hide behind them lies while I'm thinking I'm disguised, but you can see right through me. I ain't got nothing to hide. There's nothing deep down inside that you don't know about me. You can see right through me. I ain't got nothing to hide.
And that was Monolog featuring T Strike with Transparency.
Okay.
I love that song.
I was just vibing that over.
I really, me too. I was vibing. Like I told you, I get chills every time I hear that song, and I did again. It's like that particular song is a good segue into the perspective that I'm going to be talking about.
Yes.
And really, I think that for that song in particular, that basically there was a period of time that I felt like, God, I know a lot of the filth that I've done, a lot of the dirt I've done, the wrong that I've done. And I'm up here trying to put this smile on, and I'm trying to keep my problems covered.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep it covered. I don't want people to find out all the things that I've done. I don't want people to find out, this Kiki, she a good girl. She did, she does this right here. She does this right here. She takes care of this. She helps this person. She helps these people. And I literally got into a place to where it was so much of an expectation to have to meet those expectations.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'm dying inside because of the stuff that I know that I've done that has not pleased God, because I know that if I actually say something about, to anybody, how are people going to look at me now? What is my reputation going to be like? What would people would they write me off? And I was afraid of, I don't want people to write me off because I've done a lot of good, but then I was thinking, but a lot of the bad that they don't know about just might shock them. And this day and age, people could do 50 million good things, and as soon as you mess up one time, they write you off.
That's
just
forever.
look at social media.
Canceled culture.
Exactly. And I didn't want to be a part of that. I didn't want my name to be associated with those types of things. And so now, as I was saying, as my perspective is a little bit, I'm just giving another perspective, should I say, from what you gave earlier. And mine really is, the enemy was keeping me from being able to be free, as you were talking about earlier. The enemy was keeping me from being free because I was so afraid of being exposed.
Exactly.
And that is a mental game that really, really can prohibit people from truly walking in their purpose because they're so afraid of what other people might think because they have not been the perfect person. Right. So as a PK, because my dad is a pastor, he's been a pastor for pretty much almost all my life. And there's a certain stigma that comes with that. and that says, oh, PKs is the wildest, you know.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm not gonna be like that. Like, I'm not gonna be that PK. But undercover, I really was. On the outside, I was good. Not only just to my family, but like to friends too.
Right.
I kept my personal stuff, personal. Like nobody
You
was
ain't coming up in here.
Exactly. The stuff that I did, I made sure that I didn't have people that I knew. I didn't let them know what I was doing. Even my close friends, I wouldn't let them know what I was doing because I still wanted people to see me in a certain light. And that really prevented me from, as the dirt grew, as I accumulated more and more and more and more dirt, it was like, okay, at some point, the enemy gonna expose me. And that really messed me up for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I really just was like, you know what? Okay, I got to get a handle on this. Like, I really got to get a handle on this. I had to own my own decisions.
Yeah.
I had to stand up and say, this is what I did. And I may not be proud of it. Yeah, it was very tough to do. But it wasn't until like maybe about maybe 3 years ago that that my husband had told me, like, hey, you need to come out. Like, you need to not let this hinder you anymore. You need to go ahead and be on the forefront. And the more and more that I contemplated on it, and I believe that God was saying, you know, God is a loving God. Like, this is your way of getting out of this, is for you to publicly come out and say what the things are that you have done, that because you're not going to be able to, I don't want you to be held back because of something that you think might happen.
Exactly.
Versus, you know, how I could get so much glory out of what you've done wrong. I can get glory out of that. And it could be a testimony. It's something for you to share with other people to help other people.
Exactly.
And so for me, it was more so of to be uncovered, I had to know who was going to do the uncovering. I was afraid of who was going to uncover my stuff. Because God can expose you too. But in my head at the time was like, okay, the enemy gonna expose me. Somebody gonna come out and say, oh, well, I saw Kiki over here. Oh, I saw Kiki right here. And it's a lot of stuff that I really did. Yeah, it makes you very paranoid. It was a lot of stuff that I did, but it was a lot of stuff that I didn't do that I was being lied on about. But I would own if I did something. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important that we understand that as we uncover stuff about us that we know about, and as God reveals stuff to us, that we don't just keep it to ourselves and try to hide it, because we can let people know. And this podcast is really a result of that. The podcast is really me actually walking out and talking out, and it being my release to be able to say, hey, I did this, or I'm still dealing with something.
Right. And
as God reveals it to me, and I'm not there yet, and I need help in this area. So I'm in it just like with all the listeners, you know, I'm still in it too.
Listen, we are not excluded.
No, we are not.
And that's the next point, on owning your own decisions.
Yes.
Like I say, people can't use what they know against you once you do the unraveling and the uncovering. Right. Because now they have no MO.
You know what probably kind of inspired me too, now that I'm thinking about it in retrospect, is the movie 8 Mile. When the dude was just like, you know, like, he probably gonna say this. He probably gonna say this. And yes, I did do this. And yes, I did.
I did shoot myself.
Right.
With the own gun.
Right. And so once he did that, it was like his enemy, his adversary, wasn't able to say anything.
He shut him down.
Exactly.
He didn't even come up.
And I really think that if we begin to own our own stuff, like, hey, I'm not perfect, not for the sake of I'm not perfect, but for the sake of I want to get better. I want to do better in this area. This is what I did. And sometimes I fought with in my mind battles were, God, if I see somebody else making the same mistake I made, I don't really have grounds to say anything.
Right.
And that's not true. That's not true, because right is right and wrong is wrong, regardless of who it's coming from.
It's the truth.
Exactly.
You can't change that.
Exactly. So it's like I was going through a dilemma. In regards to being in a relationship with somebody, and it was how I and I'm, of course, like I said, we transparent on here.
Yes.
There was and I've already talked about it on another podcast, so I'm just bringing it back up. There was a time in my life where I, not intentionally, but I did end up talking to somebody who was married, and I found out after we had been talking a while that he was married. And the funny thing is, well, not funny, but the thing about it is it hurt me so bad when I saw somebody else do that. When I found out another young lady that I knew was doing the same thing, and I had not been, I had broke up with the dude, or, we split up or whatever. It had been years. And then there was this other young lady that I came across, and she was dating a married man. And I was just like, okay, God, do I have any grounds to say anything to her? Because I've done it before. And he was just like, yeah, you have grounds to say it, because my word is my word.
Because that's your rapport too.
Exactly.
Your opportunity to build that rapport that isn't there.
Right.
Because you still have rightful grounds to stand on because of something you experienced personally. And it's like, yo, I'm trying to help you to keep you from going down this road.
Right.
Now, if you don't care and whatever you do with the information after that, hey, I will back up. You will not hear another peep from me, because one thing I've learned, I will not waste my breath on people who just want to do what they want to do anyway.
And that's true. And so my thing really was, okay, God, I don't want someone else to expose me. I want to be able to be the one to do it. I want it on my terms, on my grounds, where I'm on the offense and not the defense. And I think that makes a big difference.
It's a game changer.
And the thing was, like, that wasn't my MO. That wasn't like me just going around, just sleeping with different married men. That wasn't me. It just so happens that, the person I ended up talking to, I found out later that he was married. But I stayed thinking that he was going to leave his wife, because that's what he told me. And that was a lie.
He wanted his cake and his milk too.
Exactly. And so at the end of the day, like, I was afraid that people would be like, dang, Kiki did that. Dang, I would have never thought she would have did that. And
yeah, because we go to the negative way fast. How they say, Monolog say the truth is just eating at the table eating breakfast while the lie going around the whole wide world, and they don't care who tell it.
It's just like, that's why I resonate with that song so much, because of the mind battles that you deal with when it's time for you to uncover something about yourself, and then you have to own it and say, I did it, but I'm not proud of it, and I don't want somebody else to go through the same thing that I've gone through. So that definitely is another perspective.
So with that being said, I have a question, Key. What solutions do you think one could have who's in this space of deciding what to do? Does it rob you of your peace, and does it rob you of your joy?
Well, I think that the solution could be, if you are, just from the perspective that I gave, and maybe if you want to give one from your perspective. Okay. I think from the perspective of what I have given is that if I were to talk to someone who were in the same situation or shoes, one, I definitely say, hey, I need you to understand whether or not, do you think that this is the right thing for your life? Do you think that this is the will of God for your life? Is the will of God for you to, to be doing this thing? And I really take heed of what Brenton said. Do you have Do you have rapport with that person? Do you have a relationship? Because if I don't, then I most likely, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. But if I did have a relationship with that individual, I definitely would be like, okay, look, if it's something that I've experienced, I'm going to share it to say, look, this is not what's up. This is not what's popping. And really take a look to see if you were on the other side of the coin of your situation. Is this what you would tell yourself to do?
Exactly.
10 years from now.
Exactly.
Or 10 years before. Like, is this what you would tell yourself to do? And so kind of start thinking about things like that, because what you do now is an investment for tomorrow.
It really is.
And so what seed are you planting today, and what harvest is going to come out of that? So it's really like, I just really want to
That's good.
make sure that what I'm saying and what I'm doing is aligned with what God would have for my life. So when you see someone doing something that they probably shouldn't be, it's not that you're judging. It's not that you're trying to cast them out or cast them away.
Right.
It's literally, hey, like, I know where this could lead, and I've been in your shoes before.
Exactly.
And I just want to be able to, like, let you know what's some consequences from that. You may not care about the consequences, or you may not think about them right now, but I want you to see from my perspective of what I've gone through and what this did for me. And you see who I am. But it took for me to go through a whole bunch of stuff to get to this. And sometimes the best teachers is just looking at someone else's life to say, this is not what I want to do.
Exactly. And whatever you sow today will either be the bondage of today or the freedom that you can experience on tomorrow. So it's very important. Like, I don't think people realize the consequences that come in the stipulations that come with that, and everything that comes with it. Like, you don't think about that. You don't think it all the way through.
Right.
You're just in the moment, and this is what you want, and I'm gonna take it. Ain't nothing gonna happen.
Right.
that old
everybody always
set.
Invincible.
Yes, that
They
old
exempt.
mindset, and it's just like, man, okay, are you really willing to just be in this place and not grow, not learn anything from it?
And I really also, to kind of add to it, to what you're saying, is that you talked about joy and peace, and when you're doing something just because you want to do it, okay, you're not thinking.
No.
But when the dust settles, is this something that you can be proud of? Is this going to rob you of your peace? Can this come back to you? And that won't be so peaceful. You know what I'm saying? It won't be so peaceful
Or joyful.
And it could rob you of that thing. So just being mindful of, hey, I might not need to do this. Like, this is, something that's not good for me. So, yeah.
And that will not be good for the other party involved either. Because even looking from another perspective, you got to also see that, how are the other party involved? How will they react? How will they, because a lot of times the other party will choose and determine to be the judge, jury.
That's true.
When they feel like they
and
want
the
to
warden.
and the warden. When they want to feel like they want to reveal something that they know about you, that they want to hang over your head if they don't get what they want from you.
That's true.
And
That's true.
That is no way to live.
It's definitely not a way to live. So everyone, this, in my opinion, this has definitely been a good release for me, for Key. I really think about, like, this has been a good part of my life as of the recent years. Just God just revealing to me things about me, and then me owning up to the things that I've done and taking responsibility and ownership for that, and growing from that. Yeah. Just growing from that thing. So I hope that something that we said today was beneficial to us, to you, and because I know I listen to these podcasts over and over. Facts. So these things help me in those moments that I just feel like I'm not, in a good space regarding something. So I hope that is helping you guys. But before we get out of here,
I have a feeling I know what you're about to do here.
Yes. Do you know? Tell me. What do you think?
CJOTD.
The corny joke of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Joke of the day.
Corny joke of the day.
Corny joke of the day. Yes, I'm so excited.
Yay.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, so I got a corny joke. Let's see if you can get this one.
Okay,
you ready? Okay. Where did Captain Hook buy his hook?
Cracker Jack box.
No. No.
Where did
Captain Hook buy his hook?
You know what?
You give up?
I do. I do.
He bought his hook at the secondhand store.
Oh my goodness. Why am I laughing? I don't know.
Because it is so funny. It's so funny.
I try not to laugh.
Get it? Secondhand store.
Secondhand.
Anywho, y'all. Well, we want to thank y'all for listening. We want to thank y'all for listening to the Life Out Loud podcast with Kiki Simone and Boy Wonder here.
Thanks.
We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Real quick, B Wonder, you want to go ahead and give them your handles?
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's from the diaphragm, you know.
Okay. That one, my last one wasn't.
You gotta do it from the diaphragm, you know, easy. You gotta do it from the diaphragm because you're gonna do it from the diaphragm.
Nobody knows what he's saying, okay?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know what language that is.
What is it, baby?
Wow.
But my social media handles are as follows. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, official Bwanda, WONDA. Also, Facebook, official Boy Wonder, BOYWONDA. And also, you can check out the website at nogroundnoglory.net. And of course, youtube.com/nogroundnoglory. Well, we dropped the new single yesterday. Well, you can get it. It is on every digital platform, everywhere. iHeart, Pandora, iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal, Google Play.
Everywhere.
And I appreciate the love and the support. Continue to push it. We're at 1,300, almost 1,400 views. And let's just keep it going. Let's run it up. Let's make history. Let's go to numero uno. Praise the Lord. Amen. Glory to God.
Well, that's wonderful and delightful. Well, I'm going to say for the Life Out Loud podcast that you can go to YouTube and subscribe. Make sure that you are subscribed. That's LOL with Kiki Simone. That's QUIQUISYMONE. Also, you can follow me on IG at Kiki Simone. Again, QUIQUISYMONE. And guess what? We got an IG LOL page. So you can go to LOL with Kiki Simone and you can follow us on there to find out what's going on. Also on Facebook, you can follow me on Facebook at Kiki Simone, QUIQUISYMONE. Maybe I need to come up with a jingle for my name.
You got to.
Who knows?
Girl, you better get that check.
But we definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in every single week. And hopefully next week we will see you guys. And until then, have a great day.
I know you want it, you looking for it. I know who got it. She talk about it in every EP, leave you Don't nobody ever be on what she be on. This is LOL with